as you're getting started with FluxPrompt, you'll notice that there's a lot of nodes, and it's good to know what situations to be able to use them. So I'm going to go over all of the text nodes. I have a video dedicated to the text generator, but all these text nodes are very simple and they have specific use cases. So the text box, I like to think as inputs. And a lot of times I'll just rename the text box to just input. And you can just be able to put plain text, but it's text that's probably going to change because it gets fed into the text generator here. The sticky note is for, it says it right here, any comments that you want. So usually when I have really, really large flows, that I put sticky notes so I can know what inputs go where and exactly what nodes do what, kind of just like commenting when I code. So I can just keep track of everything that I'm doing and that I don't get confused. And if there's specific inputs that I need to put in every time, that I make sure I put them in the right place. And then these two are the output boxes. So the rich text box is mainly for formatting, and you can enlarge it as well. It's going to look really gross when I do this, but because it's going to be right over the input box. But you can enlarge the rich text box, which these two are going to be where your final outputs usually are going. And if I put a text input here and say, give me a list of all of the countries in Africa. And I spelled countries wrong. So that input is going to get fed into the text generator from here to here. And it worked great. And so I can feed it into this larger one here, and it's going to display it like that. And the display doesn't look great here, but it looks a lot better if I feed it into the instructions here and I tell it to put it in an HTML format. And I run it. And it's a lot better formatted now. So that's the purpose of the rich text node, is to have that final output. And here you can be able to have raw text. So it's going to show up here. It's not going to do the nice formatting like it does. But if you had the previous input, if we go back, then this output looks a lot better here. And so you can be able to say this is TXT. A really great use case for this is if you are organizing data and you give it to the text generator to put it into a CSV file. And you can save it as a CSV, and then you can import that into a Google Sheet or a Excel spreadsheet. And so that's something that I've used it for a lot. But that's all the text node. And as you mix and match them, that you can be able to find that you can have tons of inputs, tons of outputs, and you can have your data be a lot more organized than it normally would be if you're using just a chatbot. And you can be able to reuse certain inputs and outputs at different points. So, but hopefully I covered everything for the use cases for these text generators. They're pretty simple.